really dig in and see what got in the way of this business lasting. Maybe the industry just changed around you. Maybe you weren't willing to change, and that is what kept you from growing. Well, hey there. Welcome to What Keeps You Up at Night podcast. I'm your host, Kiné, the leading national certified counselor specializing in financial hypnotherapy for stress. Today is a listener response episode. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that if you don't already subscribe to this YouTube channel, do so now. It's really easy. You just hit the subscribe button. You can also hit that little bell that tells you when I upload a video because I'm going to be uploading more videos now and you want to know. The other thing is, if you haven't already subscribed to the Prosperous Barber Journal, you can do that by clicking the link in the description of this video. If you want to know more about the Prosperous Barber Journal, then keep listening because I'm going to tell you more about it after this listener response. This listener response is all about money. And the thing about this question or advice is that when it came to me, it sounded like the person already knew what they needed to do. It's more like they needed some mental support on the decision. So the listener sent me kind of a question about um, knowing that they're closing their business in the next 6 months. They're going to have to do that. Based on the numbers, they're going to need to close their business. They've like done all the push they can do. They've tried everything. They've pivoted, but it doesn't look like things are changing. So they're going to be closing that business, and but in the meantime, they need to be doing something to get prepared. And so get prepared for it. But then also, they just need to mentally release this business because it's something they've been doing for a long time. So here is my suggestion. First of all, like I said, you already know what to do. You are so smart. You've obviously run this business long enough to know the business. And sometimes things change. In fact, a lot of times things change. And what we really need to get good at is changing. We can get good at business, but part of being good at business is being good at changing. My question to you, listener or watcher, is how good are you at changing? If that is something, if you look back and that is something that is a pattern for you where you haven't been good at changing, in fact, you might want to look to see if that is what got in the way of your business progressing enough so it would continue to grow. Or maybe you grew too fast. Like, really dig in and see what got in the way of this business lasting. Maybe the industry just changed around you. Maybe you weren't willing to change, and that is what kept you from growing. Or maybe you were doing too much changing, and that kept you from growing. Trust me, I know that last one. Oh, so well. But um not to laugh at your pain, but to tell you you are not alone. I'm guilty of this one myself. So once you look at that, right, where are you with change? How do you embrace change? Then the next thing that we're going to do is you've probably already gone over the numbers, right? You see the numbers. It sounds like you know that you have about 6 months of runway and then you're going to close. Seems like you've tried all the things to stay open. So, what do you do in this 6 months? What do you do? Really look at these numbers to say, do I continue to pour? Is 6 months because I just don't want to say goodbye? And so I'm going to wait for the money to completely run out. Wait, or is this like the shelf, like products that you have that are completely running out and they'll be gone by 6 months? And then you're just like, okay, I won't buy more. What is driving this 6 months? If it is attachment, not numbers, then first let's look at the numbers and say, okay, if you just closed your doors today and said, hey guys, this is our last day going out of business sale, what would that look like? What would that look like? I didn't say how would that feel. I'm talking about think conscious brain. What would that look like? If you just said today, you woke up today or you woke up tomorrow morning and you said today is the last day, what would you do? What would you put on sale? What would you just let go of and say, we're not doing this anymore? What would you just give away? What would you Who would you let go of? Who would you want to keep? L- Logically, not emotionally. We're going to get to the emotions. Just logically, what steps would you take if you decided tomorrow to let this go? Now let's go to the emotions. If you decide tomorrow, if you wake up tomorrow morning, you're like, it's time to let this go, what do you feel? Maybe there's some regret. Maybe there's something that you didn't get a chance to do. Maybe there's some guilt. Maybe you put all your eggs in this basket and you really didn't give anything else a chance. You just got laser focused. And so maybe you feel some guilt about the things you ignored. Maybe you feel guilt because maybe you didn't put your all into it and you're like, man, if only I would have, then maybe shame. Maybe you're like, oh no, my business is closing. I feel so ashamed. I don't want anybody to know. And maybe that's why you want to go to 6 months. But if it's going to close anyway, you're going to feel shame today or shame in 6 months. What's the difference? Really? What is the difference? I mean, really, answer that. What is the difference? Because you might find that there is a difference, but then you might find there is no difference. Whether it's today or 6 months from now, I'm still going to feel the same shame. And so maybe you can feel the shame and do it anyway. I know the book doesn't say that, but I'm just making up my own new saying. Maybe you need some support through this. I am here, as you know. You can always book a session with me. We can talk it through because sometimes the emotions are the part that you can't get past. The numbers, you might be able to understand and logically do what needs to be done. But most of the time, what gets in the way is us avoiding pain or wanting to go towards pleasure. Maybe we want to go towards pleasure too much, or we want to avoid pain too much. We're all human. You are human. So I understand this. If you know you have 6 months and you're going to eke out some sort of profit in this 6 months, maybe you could be putting that money away somewhere. So I'm saying close today and save the 6 months of runway that you were about to get rid of. And remember, I don't know your specific situation. This is for informational purposes only, not financial advice. So maybe you take that money and do something else with it. Maybe there is some money that's going to be made, but not enough to keep you open. So what you're making, you put it somewhere or you start doing something else. Also, maybe you can condense your hours. Like maybe you don't work as many hours as you used to, since you know you're going to close, continue to do it, pour your heart into it, give it your all, but maybe you condense your hours some. So if you were working, I don't know, 9 to 5 or 9 to 9, now your hours might be 10 to 7. It's just a few hours shaved off, but that could save you some money along the way. And then also give you time to do something else. So you could possibly be building up that other thing. Now, I know some people are going to be like, no, you need to take time and rest, which you might. You might need to take time to rest. Consider that as well. But that doesn't mean you don't start building up something else, knowing that is going away. And you may already have something else coming, or you may be putting your energy towards something, which is why this thing is breaking down. Or maybe there's a way to scale it or sell it. Yeah, didn't think about that? Aha. Yeah, that's an option too. So these are just my job is to help you look at all the options. Sometimes when we're in it, you know how they say you can't see the forest for the trees. When you're in it, you're just like this, and all you can see is what you've been doing, right? You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's not the definition of insanity, definition of humanity. You've heard me say this before. So your brain is going towards familiar, and maybe you just don't see more options. And you are feeling a little like trapped in your decisions and in your patterns and your habits. But my job is to open up and show you more options, more options, more options. And the more you see these options, the more you're like, oh, I choose this one or that one or a combination. So these are things that you can do. These are things, this is why I'm here for you, is to help you see these options, but then to also help you choose them. And when you choose, what happens then is that you commit. I know a lot of people don't like that word. I'm not even that good at committing. So, you commit to the decision and you hold on to it. And that alone can make you feel better sometimes, just knowing, okay, I know where I'm going. I know what the path is. This is what I'm doing. And that 6 months could end up being 9 months, or it could end up being 3 months, or maybe it turns out that some luck hits and you don't have to say goodbye at all, because luck does happen. You don't count on luck. You can't quantify luck, but it does happen. And so maybe that will happen for you. But don't get attached. You've got to get to the mind, the frame of mind that it might be time to let it go. And so here's one exercise. I always go back to visualize. When you visualize yourself, and if you don't have my visualization exercise, when you subscribe to the Prosperous Barber Journal, you will get the vision session free. It comes with your subscription. So when you subscribe, you get that vision session. Really listen to it. Now, right here on YouTube, I have a free Calm Optimal Brain session, but this vision session is what is really going to help you dig into where you see yourself going next. Where you see yourself going next. Because that's what I want you to think about. Where do you see yourself going next? What is next? So you may have to just close your eyes. Now you can do this on your own, or you can go ahead and get the vision session that I offer, and just close your eyes and allow yourself to go into Calm Optimal Brain. That's why I said you might want to watch the Calm Optimal Brain session, because it's just 5 or 6 minutes that helps you get yourself out of your conscious brain and into your subconscious brain. And then when you go into your subconscious brain, just allow your brain to wander and trust your brain, because it will tell you what is next. But it takes some time to get there. You've got to get out of your conscious brain. You got to get past that critical brain. And once you get there, then you'll just let yourself imagine. Just see yourself. What does the day look like? What does your afternoon look like? Who's there? Who's not there? What are you doing? Maybe maybe it's time for change. And change might feel weird, but it's possible, and it could be a good thing. And once you then have that visualization and you see what's next for you, don't get attached to it, but you can get dedicated to it and become dedicated to this new thing. And then get yourself ready. And maybe you take that 6 months to get ready. Or maybe you wake up tomorrow and you're already ready. Either way, you know what to do. Like I said, it sounded like you were just asking for like permission, or agreement or validation, or like support. Let me be that support if you need me to be, to trust yourself. Trust yourself. And maybe you're thinking, I trusted myself so far and I'm not getting where I want to be. I don't think I can trust myself. Then in that case, then we may need to work together. I do offer private sessions, so that's something we can do. But I think and knowing, I know, is not always enough. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Take one step, then another, and then another. And eventually the people's judgment, the shame, the guilt, whatever emotion you feel will start to subside. Emotions change. I promise they do. They'll evolve into something else. And eventually the emotion you'll feel will be relief, confidence, trust, belief. Those are emotions too. And you can move from the negative to the positive. Come back to this podcast, because that's what I help you do. Move from the negative to the positive. I'm really good at it. And you and I can connect here on YouTube for free. You can get into the Prosperous Barber for a very, 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 very low fee. Or you can hire me as your financial hypnotherapist, and that costs a little bit more. and we can work together privately. I look forward to seeing you. Remember to subscribe, comment below if you have anything to say, whether you're the listener or you're somebody else. If this was helpful to you, you're welcome. I love you muchly. See you sooner.